Hello everyone, Javon Studios here, and today, since it's a brand new year and a whole new decade, I'm going to take the time to review some games I'm revisiting. One of those games is, of course, Destiny 2. I'll be looking and judging this game with a simple criteria. Is it fun? How is the story? Is there enough content for returning or new players? Or is it all just tedious and annoying? So let's just get right into it, shall we? Destiny's shining most nuanced mechanic is the gunplay. It is very satisfying in combat using snipers, rifles, or even a sword as a heavy weapon. Now keep in mind, Destiny is trying its very best to be an MMORPG, even though, in my opinion, it still fails to do so. But luckily, on either free account or paid, the loot is awesome. To an extent. At a certain point, you realize the loot gives better stats and upgrades, which unfortunately renders your current gear useless. And almost every single gameplay clip you see here, something had to change in my arsenal because I wanted my power level to go up, which meant that I had to let go of some of my favorite weapons. Yes, I'm aware there's a simple upgrade system for your gear and weapons, but it's mostly cosmetic and it doesn't really do much. Perhaps I haven't looked deep into it anyway. Um, that bit aside, it doesn't really bother me that much. Now, since it's 2020, there are plenty to do. In fact, I when I jumped in, I kind of felt overwhelmed by the amount of adventure side quests, patrols, and public events that were happening. Now, I haven't played the multiplayer yet. I will review that in a later video. But out of my entire 30-hour playthrough currently, I've been getting lost in the public events and such, but majority of it is still feel repetitive, and it's rewarding, but it's just repetitive. Adventures are just running to one location, facing waves of Vex, current and completing and fighting materials. That's it. Really, just feels like public events, but in an actual with an actual objective. Even with the objectives, just the objective is to just collect items. Patrols are the same thing but smaller. The enemies you need to find are in the open, and for some strange reason, Destiny feels that waves and waves of enemies equal difficulty, when it doesn't. Spending hours on just adventures and public events alone immediately feel tedious at just after 10 minutes. There's been plenty of times I felt tired and drained from just shooting. The minimap tells you everything you need to know. Literally, where to go, where the enemies are, and where the players are, etc. What really bothers me is the fact that the entire Red War campaign is easy because of the powerful loot. It's almost as if the developers wanted free account players to breeze through the entire game, which I know isn't the case, but it genuinely feels like it. There's some missions where you can just not shoot any Cabal or Vex and be completely fine. There are two tank missions that are just pointless and unnecessary. How incredibly diverse Bungie the game design is. They won't give us space combat still to this day, but tank battles. As if that hasn't been done before. Right? So the difficulty is a joke. Okay. How is the character moments? How is the characters and the writing? Pretty bad. Just pitifully bad. I I really have to make a point on this one because it bothers me a lot. The story is a complete missed opportunity for the characters to search themselves as guardians of Traveler. I wanted them to explore a lot more, but no, we only get the surface level, the most laziest execution of character development with the most god awful dialogue I've ever heard. There are two categories I put these Destiny characters in. Zavala, Ikora, and the main character, your main character. They all go into the boring category. While Cade and Exodus Black, that robot, they all go into the try hard comedy category. It's a shame because I wanted to like them. I wanted to root for them in the end, but I didn't. I couldn't. I didn't care. I wanted to stop playing on a second planet, in fact. The level design feels uninspired. It's pretty, but it's just substanceless. I would love to see the history of Io or Nessus. But no. We get dropped in and have to fight Cabal. Great. I actually hated Titan the most. It's a water world. It's a planet full of water. A whole base above water, and the Vex has taken over. Great setup. But Bungie decided not to include more weather effects like a storm or even heavy rain, at least. They've forgotten less gravity on a planet, or moon, I mean. It was just a waste of potential. The main villain, Gary, is laughable. I cannot take him seriously through this entire thing. If you had a pot, okay, a characterization pot, let's just say, and you mix cliche villain dialogue with terrible art design, bland and uninteresting motivations, you get Gary. He takes the speaker, interrogates him, and his second in command kills him somehow, some way. He just falls, and his mask just breaks on the floor. Right. It's like, okay, they rather argue over the lights instead of actually taking it. I guess Bungie forgotten how they're the most ruthless and brainless species in the galaxy. Why are they spending the entire campaign conversing over the same thing? More puzzlingly, Gary kills his number 2 and just take the light by force, which renders everything they did up to that point stupid and just time pandering. The enemies in the game is still broken. They're such brain dead AI who think it's a bright idea to charge right at you randomly, even though you have a shotgun in your hand fully loaded. They literally just run at you in a straight line so you can take them down one by one. This game has been out for over 3 years, and still the AI is this bad. So aside from the Red War campaign, what do we get here? What we have here? Well, if you look at it at face value, we have just an okay casual shooter. That's how I describe Destiny 2. It's a try-hard MMO, more of a light MMO, casual shooter. It certainly tries, but it's just that's about it, really. All in all, guys, I've put about a day and 10 hours and 45 minutes into Destiny 2 as of now. In 2020, the base game is just bland and boring. Yes, the adventures, patrol, public events are fun, but the story is mediocre at best. Well, there is Curse of Osiris that I could try out, but something tells me that won't be very good. I don't have high hopes for this first expansion pack. This is Javon Studios signing out. Have a good one. What a shame.